Show me the money.
All right, show me the money. NFL picks for week number 9 coming up today. Joining me on the podcast, he's going to hang around for a bit after the picks to do some legal talk about the election, break down some numbers. But right now, we're going to talk Giants, our legal correspondent, Phil Fraietta. Phil, welcome back. How are you?
Hey, Mike. Doing well. How are you?
Doing pretty good, and I have to say, I watched the Giant game Monday night against Tampa Bay. I feel like it's just a typical Giant game. You know, the defense played well. A couple of mistakes out of Daniel Jones. Am I reading anything different than what you've seen out of the Giants all this year?
Not terribly different. I think the defense is a little overrated. I mean, they've certainly played hard. I don't think they've necessarily played well. But yeah, that's more or less what we've seen from the Giants. They've been in some games. I don't want to say all the games. I know a lot of Giants fans say that. Like, for instance, that game against Pittsburgh, I don't really think they were in it. But yeah, they've been able to stick around, and they can't get the job done, largely because they don't have any talent. As I've said on this podcast many times, they just don't have talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball. There's a lot of names, but I think we're at the point now where it's, what is Evan Ingram? What is Sterling Shepard? What is Golden Tate at this point in his career? Those guys aren't really making plays, and Daniel Jones, he does not look like an NFL starting quarterback at this point. Now, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt a little bit, I guess. It's only halfway into his second season in the league, but he certainly does not look like he's made any steps forward.
Yeah, I think
maybe even regress.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on Daniel Jones because I've been watching him up close lately, because the thing that scares you about Daniel Jones, obviously last year he had a big year with all the turnovers. The turnovers have not gone away this year. In fact, they've gotten worse, and you saw some very questionable decision-making on Monday night where 2 plays, he did not stay on the right read with Darius Slayton, who beat his man, would have been wide open for a walk-in touchdown. Instead, went back around, threw into double covers, threw an interception. Stuff like that makes you very concerned about Daniel Jones.
Yeah, those are the kind of things that you see from Daniel Jones on a weekly basis. The guy turns the ball over a lot, and you're right, he missed open throws. Now, look, does he make some plays? Yeah, he makes some plays. He, especially with his legs, which we've seen, he can run, but I just don't think that's enough for a starting quarterback in the NFL, and certainly a franchise quarterback. Your franchise quarterback has to do more than make some plays for you. He needs to carry you, basically. That's the best way to say it. He's got to carry you on his back, and we're just not seeing that from Daniel Jones. And look, it's hard to feel optimistic about Jones right now, simply because he hasn't really shown you much this year as far as his ability to be a franchise quarterback. And he wasn't projected to be a franchise quarterback by just about any other scout or draft analyst that is out there. The Giants took him. It was considered a reach. And now you're kind of seeing why.
Yeah, you are seeing why. And he's a big part of why they're 1-7. Somehow still mathematically alive in the NFC East race because the division's so terrible. But they really have to find a way to sweep Washington this week if they want to do that. So what do you think they have to do to beat Washington and get the sweep this week?
I mean, look, Washington is not a very good football team either.
Yeah, I know.
By the fact that the Giants beat them. So what do the Giants need to do to beat Washington? I mean, that's a hard question, Mike, because the way I see it, it's those are two teams who don't really know how to win. It's who's going to do just enough not to lose. But the Giants, when they're at their best, they play adequate defense and don't turn the ball over. Jones just can't turn the ball over. Washington has problems scoring, so don't help them out. That would be my keys to the game. But again, I think it's more of a don't lose rather than how to win.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much it. It's like just don't turn the football over. I think, in my opinion, if you limit them and give them easy field position and give them opportunities on short field, I think that's a recipe for the Giants to lose. I think if they can hold the football, I think they got a chance to steal that game.
Yep, I would agree with that. I think that's the key. And like I said, to me, it's more of a just don't lose type game. I don't think either of those teams really does anything to win.
Yeah, for sure. And we will get to the picks, which is why you're here this week. Alex Asano was here last week for Team Challengers. He went 1-2 on the week. He had the Patriots getting 4 points against the Bills. They covered that one. They could have won outright if Cam Newton doesn't fumble at the end of the game. He lost the Titans laying 5.5, and they got crushed by the Bengals. And he had the Rams laying 4 in Miami. I got to say, that was one of the stranger games of the week that they got blown out in Miami like that.
Yeah, that surprised me. But, they've had some games like that, though, I feel, with under McVay.
Yeah, they have. On the other hand, I went 2-1 on the week last week. I had the Chiefs laying the 19.5 against my Jets. That was not even in doubt for a while. I had the Steelers getting 3.5 against the Ravens. They won the game outright. I lost with the Saints. I had them laying the 4. They won by 3, so I did not cover. On the year, Team Challengers is 14-9-1. I am 17-7. So that's the situation right now. We're going to do some picks for week number 9. Let me get a set up right here. And Phil, as the guest, you are up first. Where are you going with your first pick?
All right, Mike. So first pick, I am going to. There's the music. First pick, give me the Pats against your Jets. I don't have the line in front of me, but I think it was 7.
That's correct.
The last time we looked at it, yeah. Look, I don't have to tell you this. Your Jets are just they're terrible. That's the only way to say it. They're a very bad football team. I think New England needs a win here. They know they need a win here. So I think they come in and they blow you guys out pretty bad.
Hey, I don't disagree with that logic. I mean, my strategy the last 6 weeks has been picked against the Jets. I've gone 5-1 with that, so I don't blame you at all for going that direction. The Jets have only covered once all year. Where are you going with your next pick?
Next pick, give me the... Yeah, I thought about this one a lot. I thought it was a tight one to pick, but I am going to go with the Baltimore Ravens and laying the, what is it, 2.5? Is that the number that we had?
Yep.
Yeah, laying the 2.5. Again, the Ravens, they have a lot of controversy and drama around that team lately. So I just think they need a win. I think they can go and get a win. They haven't played as well as anybody expected they would this year, but there's still plenty of time to turn around. So Ravens, I'll lay the 2.5. I think they'll cover.
Yeah, it's an easy one to lay because they just need a field goal, beat the Colts. The Colts have trouble scoring the football. It's going to be a good defensive struggle. I still like laying when you're getting less than a field goal here. So I trust the Ravens in that one. Where are you going with your final pick of the week?
Final pick, give me, looking over the numbers again, I will take the Arizona Cardinals with my final pick. And what was that spread? I don't know. Was it 4? 4.5?
I think, yeah, 3.5 right now.
3.5 right now, yeah. I'll take the Cardinals. Again, the Cardinals have played really well this year. They've impressed everybody, and they're in a tight division hunt. I just think they go in and take care of business. I like Kyler Murray. I'd bring him back to the Daniel Jones conversation. You just look at two polar opposites right there. One organization, the Cardinals, they take a guy like Kyler Murray, who's not a prototypical NFL quarterback, but they build a system for him, and it's working. Versus the Giants, who take a guy who kind of checks off all the boxes, but just doesn't. He might look the part, but he doesn't play the part. And that's why I think you have an organization like the Cardinals on the up and up, in an organization like the Giants, who are just down, down, down. So give me the Cardinals. I'll lay the point.
All right, 3 favorites for Phil this week. I'm going the other way. I'm actually going 3 underdogs this week. Pick number 1 for me. I'm taking the Saints, getting 5.5 on Sunday night against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a game I feel like the Saints are kind of getting into a groove here. I know they should have covered against Chicago last week if they don't blow a 10-point lead, but looks like Michael Thomas might be back this week. Maybe get Emmanuel Sanders off the COVID list. This game is going to be a close game, and the Buccaneers did not inspire a ton of confidence how they struggled to put you guys away on Monday night. 5.5 is a big, big number, and New Orleans won this game big. These two teams met in week 1. I get that the teams have played in different directions since then, but I'm getting a lot of points with the Saints here, so give me the 5.5 with the Saints. Pick 1.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, I mean, division games are tough, but I could definitely see that pick there. So I can't kill you for that one. They could certainly cover division game. Who the hell knows?
Yeah. Game number 2, another division game, another dog here. It feels like it makes no sense why they're an underdog. I'm going to take them here. I'm going to take the Raiders getting 1.5 in Los Angeles against the Chargers, because the Chargers, if we've seen one thing over the past couple weeks, is this team finds a way to blow games late. They had a big blown lead against Denver last Sunday. They were up big in the fourth quarter. Denver comes back to win. The Raiders, coming off a very nice road win last week, they beat the Browns in Cleveland, dominated defensively. They're getting 1.5 here. I think there's a great chance the Raiders win this game outright. It's a big game for their playoff chances here. So give me the Raiders getting 1.5, pick 2.
Yeah, the Raiders are an interesting team, right? They're on the border. You can't really tell if they're ready yet, but this is a big opportunity for them to show people that they're for real. And sure, I can see them going into the start down there and beating the Chargers. Definitely.
All right, that's game number 2. Game number 3, my last underdog of the week. I'm taking the Chicago Bears on the road, getting 6 points against the Tennessee Titans. And this is, for me, a sign of respect for the Bear defense, which keeps them in a lot of games. The Titan defense is not good. We saw Joe Burrow beat them up last week. They've had trouble in the last couple of weeks covering teams, and I just think 6 is too big with the Bears, because their Bears find ways to stay in these games. They've been in a lot of close one-possession games. I'm getting almost a touchdown here with the Bears, and I think they'll find a way to keep it close. Tennessee has trouble stopping the run. David Montgomery be a big factor here. Give me the 6 with the Bears, my last pick of the week.
Okay, I don't know if I picked that one. I like the Titans. I think the Titans are a pretty good football team. They're at home, but look, the Bears have a defense. That's going to be one of those sloppy, physical football games. So I see the logic. I like the Titans in that one. I actually considered picking the Titans, but I thought the number was a little too big. So I see the Bears covering. Yeah, I wouldn't pick them to win. I wouldn't do the money line or anything like that, but I could see them covering.
All right, so reset the picks of the week. Phil is laying 7 points to the Patriots against the Jets. 7 straight week on the podcast, somebody's picked against the Jets. The Cardinals laying 3.5 in Arizona against the Dolphins. The Ravens laying 2.5 in Indianapolis against the Colts. On the other hand, I am taking 3 underdogs. I have the Saints getting 5.5 in Tampa Bay on Sunday night. The Bears getting 6 in Tennessee against the Titans. And the Raiders getting 1.5 on the road against the Chargers. Those are your picks for week number 9 here on the podcast. It's been a fun week doing picks, but we're going to crunch some more numbers just in a minute. We're going to talk about the election. And Phil, I think you and I have some interesting number crunching breakdown.
Yeah, so there's a lot with the election. We're recording on Wednesday, November 4 at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So we're still waiting to get numbers. But right now, depending on what source you have, and some networks call the races differently, but Biden's anywhere between 264 electoral votes and 253, depending on what source. Some are given in Arizona, some aren't. And do you want to start there with Arizona?
Yeah, we'll take a quick break. We'll do that and come right back right after this.